What's going on with the Celtics, man? They dropped another one last night to Cleveland. I know Jaylen Brown is out for the year. I know Robert Williams is out. But, we keep talking about it. Why does this team seem like they play with a lack of enthusiasm, like a lack of passion?
Kevin Love made it look like it was 2010.
Well, to be honest, from watching them last night, they really don't care. Honestly, and to be honest, some of their others around them are really just not good. And they don't match the level of other role players that are considered contenders. When you look at guys like Shimmy Ojale and Grant Williams and those type of guys, and even I don't want to say Tristan Thompson, but he's not the Tristan Thompson of old. He still have the hustle in him. But to be honest, they just don't match up well. They not athletic. And it's crazy because they're young, but they play so old. And a part of it want to blame it on Brad. But after covering the game last night, because I do the Boston Celtics network on the side and actually cover that game, it's on the players. And I don't know if they have the spirit. I don't know if they give a damn, to be honest. It's like they don't enjoy one another. Key, J, everybody on here, right? Y'all know this. When y'all were playing, y'all could feel the chemistry, the camaraderie, right? You could see when guys are jumping up off the bench or running up and down the sideline, feeling a certain type of way, happy for their teammates' success, right? That's when you knew you were on a good team that gave a damn about winning. This Celtic team really don't care. And it showed last night. They were clearly, to me, on paper, the better team than what the Cleveland Cavaliers had out there on the floor. And Kevin Love turned back the hands. That was his first 30-point game in 2 years.
Yeah, I remember last year during the season, or at the end of the season, I tried to warn you and JWill about that window closing on them Celtics, man. You could just see it just felt like something wasn't right in Boston. And then although there's injuries and stuff like that, you can still tell based on watching the game, much like you say, that it's just whatever. It's kind of like they waiting for the season to just be over with so they can turn the clock forward to next year.
Well, Key, look, I'm gonna say this. They are missing Jaylen Brown, okay? And I get it. A lot of people say that Marcus Smart is the heart and soul of the team. I think he has that's past due. I think it's time for them to move on without Marcus Smart. Jaylen Brown actually brings life to that organization. The way he plays, his spirit, his energy, his athleticism, he keeps getting better every single year. When Jason Tatum tends to lack at times and take possessions off, Jaylen Brown is one of those guys that don't take possessions off. And so he's able to lift up that team just by his energy. And we already know what type of leader Jaylen Brown is because we know what type of leader he is off the court, right? Every time we hear this man speak, we like, this man cannot be 24 years old leading the way like he is in the social part of the world. On the court, he's that same type of leader. Before, when Jason Tatum was struggling, Jaylen Brown the one that pulled Jason Tatum aside and said, man, let's have a talk and pick our game up. All of a sudden, Jason Tatum dropped a 50-piece, then a 60-piece, and then he won Eastern Conference Player of the Week, and et cetera, et cetera. But Jaylen Brown is so valuable to that team, people really don't realize. He's so valuable to that organization that they didn't even trade him for James Harden.
So, Perk, let me ask you this. Who is an easier road to the World Championship game? The Brooklyn Nets or the Los Angeles Lakers? Because I'm looking at the Lakers. Utah just lost their last two in a row to Portland and to the Warriors. Phoenix has lost the last couple. Their defense has been dropping off. I know the Clippers are there. Yeah. And I'm looking at the East being like, damn, well, Philly ain't nothing to mess around with. I'm not counting on Milwaukee, but Milwaukee's still very, very talented with a team that hasn't played together. I'm starting to think that maybe the Lakers might have an easier road to the finals than the Nets.
And Jay, you're not wrong. I 100% agree with you. When you look at this time, you want to look at teams that are thriving, right? This is when you should be hitting your peak when it matters the most going into postseason. The top of the Western Conference is looking funny in the light. The Utah Jazz, the Phoenix Suns, the Clippers, the only two teams that are are playing kind of good basketball are the Nuggets and the Trailblazers. And I don't think the Lakers are worried about either one of those teams, to be honest. So, but when you look in the Eastern Conference, now that's a different story because just think about this, right? Them goons from Dade County, the Miami Heat, they're starting to play basketball like we've seen of old. Jimmy Butler has taken his game to another level. Tyler Hero, since cutting his hair, he's elevated his game back to the Tyler Hero in the bubble. And then when you look at the New York Knicks, right? New York Knicks. And I know you look at them on paper and people still keep underestimating them, but they're not backing down from nobody. And they have the firepower to compete with anybody in the series. When you look at Julius Randle, Derrick Rose, you got Reggie Bullock, you got all these guys that could go out there and score, but they hang their hats on the defensive end. And last but not least, well, I ain't going to say that. You have the Atlanta Hawks that are being slept on. That team is very dangerous. John Collins should be up for most improved player of the year. I don't think he will win it, but he should be in the conversation. Clint Capella anchoring that defense. One of the best defensive bigs in the game today, and we know what Trae Young is going to bring to the table along with Bogdanovich. But I'm going to say this. If the Wizards get in at that 8th seed, they're going to be a problem.
Dangerous team.
With a healthy Bradley Beal, no one wants to see a Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal that has nothing to lose but everything to gain.
Yeah, especially in the first round, right, Perk? I mean, that's the thing and I think that's to Jay's point, is that team could be really dangerous.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.